Hello, my name is Chris Morgan, and thank you for allowing me to talk to you about some of the issues that we've had implementing interactive reporting and dashboards for our clients. So what are we going to cover? What's causing the change? Some of the differences between interactive reporting and dashboards, and then some things to consider when implementing an interactive delivery system. So firstly, what gives me the right to be here to talk to you about the subject? So Data Liberation has been creating online reporting systems for about the last 10 years. Our current product was officially launched back in June of last year, and most of what I'm going to say today is from experiences that we've had in the past 12 months and from a number of the interviews and conversations that I've had in the past 2 weeks with a number of my clients in preparation for today. So, what's pushing this? What's making this change happen? It's easy. It's our clients. It's not just external clients. It's not just the final end users, the research buyers, but it's internal clients as well. If you're a DP department within a research agency, it will not be just the clients at the end of the chain, but it will be the market execs, the research execs that are just next to you as well. Clients, they are demanding. They want everything faster. When the fieldwork closes, they want the results, or at least they want some top-line numbers straight away. They don't really want to pay for anything either. And of course, everything has to be online. Interactive and of massive importance now, it has to look not only clean and functional, but it has to have the wow factor. A bit more about that later. Oh, and they don't really want to talk to anyone anymore. They want to do it all themselves. They want to be able to get up, log on, and just do it. Clients are very demanding. We now live in the age of instant answers. If we need to know the population breakdown of New Zealand, we have it in Google, we look in Wikipedia, we probably have a good enough answer. This is what clients are starting to expect. And if we're honest, we're about the same as well. Gone are the days when clients were happy to wait for a new cut of data. They want to play with it. But not only that, they now want to have graphic design, want us to be graphic designers and web developers. It has to be functional and stunning. And the sad thing is they don't want to talk to us anymore. Like I say, they want to do it all themselves and they don't want to pay. They want to keep their prices lower and feel that they can do it. If they do it, it will be quicker, cheaper. A challenge. So what are some of the options? I'm only going to cover two that I feel that I have confidence to talk about, dashboards and interactive reporting. Dashboards. These can be great. They give you headline numbers and they can look fantastic. Potentially they're easy to deploy, but you have to be careful. Not everyone has Flash. A lot of dashboards are now written in Flash, and not every client will be able to install Flash or allow Flash on their PCs. HTML5, which is possibly going to replacement Flash, is the same problem. Not all web browsers are equal, and not everyone's going to be able to use it. So you must look at the deployment issues. But dashboards aren't so great when it comes to playing with what-if type questions. The specifications for creating a dashboard are quite difficult. If you're trying to aim it just at the chief exec, that's one thing, but if you're trying to do line managers or store managers or regional managers, it's a much more challenging job. And of course, if it's more difficult to build, it's going to cost you more. Interactive reporting. These are wonderful for playing with data. Again, they can be easy to deploy. Most of them are web-based, but you have to, again, look at what web browsers your clients are using. You might find that they're using Internet Explorer 6, and some people will be using Internet Explorer 9, and then there's Chrome and Firefox, and will your tool be able to work on all of those? And especially if they're looking at using it on an iPhone or a Google phone or even a BlackBerry, how does it work there? Again, if it's going to take less time to build, which it should do, you have to do less, it'll probably cost less. But it does require that your users have some understanding of the data. They're not just going to be able to create reports without some sort of drag and drop, picking their variables, picking their filters. It does require some understanding of what they're doing. And it would require some more training. Not as pretty, definitely, but less of the wow and more of the do. I think what I'm saying here is not that one size does not fit all. Maybe you should be looking at a hybrid system, a dashboard for the senior management team, and a more interactive reporting system for line managers or regional managers. So things to consider. Most of what I'm going to say here has come from my clients. You must be certain, you must be clear about what you're trying to achieve. Are you looking for quicker turnaround of results? Are you looking for more openness, accessibility of your data? Both of these are very good things to try to aspire to, but there are other options, but you must be clear from your clients what they want. You can spend a lot of time and money giving them quick turnaround of results, but then they want to have more access to the data. And think about, as I've already covered briefly, the implementation issues. Web-based solutions are great, but if they don't have access to the internet when they're doing a presentation, it's not going to be any good to them. And what are your clients allowed to do and change to their environment? Are they running on Macs? Are they running on PCs? What versions of browsers are they using? These are things that you'll have to think about. And be very clear about who your audience is. What's the reporting system going to do? And who's it going to do it to? Is it senior management or is it data analysts? There are very different needs and requirements for both of those groups. And also you need to look at how many people will there be. If it's just one chief exec, fantastic, it's easy or easier. If it's hundreds of users across the world, then you have to think a little bit more about how you're going to do it, where the server's going to be, uptime, those sort of things. Look at the openness of your platform. If you want to add in-house data, like CRM data into the system, how is that going to happen? I think the days are gone when you can send the data off to somebody, they can churn it all into a nice little cube of some sort of nature and then give you a reporting system from that. You need to be able to get access to the data, be able to refresh it when you want. Like I say, clients are expecting from the moment you give it to them, you give them more. Branding. I think most people would like to brand any tool as their own. Now that could be you branding it for yourself to supply to your clients, or it could even be the client wants their own branding on it. A logo at the top is not enough anymore. You need to be able to brand it for each of your clients potentially. And you've got to look at your charging model for doing that. Are you going to bill them more for making it look pretty? Are you going to allow them to make changes to the system? Will the system allow you to make changes for each client? And you've got to be careful about differentiating yourself. It's very easy at the moment to take on tools from vendors, and each report looks the same. So when you go to a client, they go, oh, this is from a so-and-so vendor, or this is from so-and-so vendor. If you can't differentiate yourself, it's going to be very hard to resell those products on. Costs. Unfortunately, I think reporting has now become a bit of a commodity. People are expecting it. It's just a requirement. It's nothing special. We collect the data, we do some analysis, we create a report, and then we need to do the reporting. And clients don't want to pay. They want it, they demand it, but if you actually go out and ask them what it is or how much they're prepared to pay for an online system, it will be very little. Most reporting news systems still have per usage costs. You have to be careful of these. If you're going out to 100 users per user, annual costs are a real barrier to implementation. Security. Obviously, the data you're collecting for your clients is probably very sensitive. Your clients will probably be aware of your servers or where they're going to be. They'll want to know. Think about, can you host it yourself, and do you know how to host it, or even do you want to host it? And then you need to think about the data security within the tool. Can you allow an individual user just to have a certain number of variables and a certain slice of data? If it's a line manager, can they just see the data for their department? And can it just be the certain variables that are relevant to him? And finally, one final thing. Beware of the eye effect, style over substance. We spend a lot of time at Data Liberation changing the shade of blue or changing them from square corners to rounded corners. But actually, at the end of the day, the system will do what the system does. If the numbers are wrong or it doesn't achieve what the result that the end user wants, the system's going to be no good. But it might look pretty. But beware of it. People are more conscious of what it looks like sometimes than the actual functionality. So thank you. There are many options for you selecting a new presentation approach, but I hope I've highlighted some areas that will help you and reach the right decision.